Hi, my name is Gisela Marti, Creative Director for Tammy Taylor Nails. We want you to open the windows of your imagination because the techniques that we are going to be sharing with you today will bring you to the next artistic level. I have called this design the Splendor of Spring. The guest artist, products from all Tammy Taylor lines. Are you ready? So let's get started. Okay, the next technique that I want to show you, it is how to do an origami. For this technique, you can do it in two ways. The first is pre-made, and it would be a result of something like this. This is pre-made. And I would need the following things. I'm going to need the rings, and there's different sizes of ring. This is a large ring. This is a smaller ring. I'm going to be needing some stones. And I'm also going to be using my clear powder, okay? So, if it's pre-made, the first thing that we want to do is we want to choose which ring goes with the hole that you already have pre-made on the nail. In my case, since I'm going to be using this ring, it has to fit perfectly the nail, okay? The second step into doing a pre-made origami, it would be by taking a small amount of the clear powder. See how small it is? I'm going to place it, and I want to let all the liquid flow. You're not going to be able to see it right now and appreciate it because I'm using clear. But be sure with the end of your brush to flat completely that small circle. Once you do it, you're going to take the ring, and I'm going to place it right in top of where I have the acrylic. And I'm going to let it dry. Once it's dry, all what we have to do is peel it off the paper. And I'm using a paper that is a waxy paper, which is the one that is on the back of the form, which make it easy for me. And the result would be just this. This is where you're going to put all the stones, and this is what you're going to insert on the hole of the nail. Now, the second way to do it is when you do it directly to the nail. And this is exactly what we are going to do now. We're going to do it directly. Okay, so I have my nail over here, and we're going to do the hole for the origami. And I want to take my ring, and I want to measure to be sure where I'm going to be doing the hole. And it's exactly right there. I'm going to be using my pencil bit first, and then I'm going to finish with my 2 weeks bit. Be sure whenever you start to go around to try to make it bigger than what the bead it is in order for the bead to pass through completely all the way to the end. Okay, so if you notice, I changed it to the 2 weeks, and I want to be sure that it's completely smooth. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it off, and I want to show you how perfect the hole it is with the ring. The next step would be to seal the back of the nail. So I'm going to peel that piece that we previously made, and I'm going to put it on the back of the origami. Now, you're going to take a very thin coat of acrylic, and you're going to cap it to be sure that everything is sealed and the piece do not come out. Okay, now that the back is completely sealed, now we are going, this is the final result of the origami. I'm going to take a stone, and I'm going to put it inside because it's going to be jumping from, you can put 1, you can put 2 pieces if you want to put 2 pieces. I'm only going to use 1. And I'm going to take a small piece just like we did on the back, and we're going to put it right in front of the design. Once it's there, be sure to put a little of pressure so the acrylic piece gets there completely and stick to it. I'm going to take a tiny bit of acrylic just like I did on the back, and I'm going to do a thin overlay to be sure that the piece is completely sealed. We're going to wait till it dries, and then I'm going to buff the surface just a little bit. So this is the end result of the origami technique. And now we're going to decorate the nail, and we're going to our next technique, which is a one color touch technique. Okay, now we're going to decorate the nail, and the technique that we are going to be using is the one color touch technique. Step number 1 would be application of the flawless foundation. Once I apply the flawless foundation, I'm going to put it to cure. Remember, if you're using UV, it's going to be for 2 minutes. But if you're using LED, you're going to cure for 1 minute. Okay, now that it's cured, the second step would be to top coat the nail with the Into the Matte top coat. We're going to seal the nail. We want a matte surface and everything around the origami, but not over the origami. You can seal the origami with the flawless finish, and you can also seal the bottom of the origami with the flawless finish. But right now, we're going to cure. If it's UV, you're going to cure for 2 minutes, but if it's LED, 1 minute. Okay, now that it's already cured, the next step would be to clean completely the nail using your towelettes and the cleaning solution. Now we're going to draw. I'm going to be using my bold striper, and I'm also going to be using the gel art paint black. And just a very little amount on the tip of the brush, I'm going to outline the origami. Okay, this one touch of color technique is majorly black. You don't have to be perfect in here because we're going to be working with bold lines. So from this moment over here, or from this place, I'm going to pull a big petal. I'm going to put a second one on this area. I'm going to bring it all the way down, almost to the end. A third one, and if you notice, this one is going to be longer than the other petals that I'm going to be drawing. Very simple. My last one in this side is done, and I'm going to do my last one on this side also. Coming from the top and over the end of the petal, and this is it. Now I'm going to come all the way from the top to do a leaf. Now remember, whenever you're using this brush, if you think that you have a lot of paint, clean it up and come back. Be sure that you have a point on the brush. The point is the important part over here, so you can have sharp lines, okay? So I'm going to take just a tiny bit at the end of the brush, and I'm going to come from the top softly. If you have to load the brush again, just load the brush again. Oops, I have a little hair. And come back again from the same point. Bring it all the way to the origami. And the other side, and we're gonna shape a leaf. I'm gonna bring on the center, I'm also gonna do a line. And don't worry about if you have lines that doesn't look like just one straight line, because what we're gonna do next is just going to camouflage that part over there. Okay, so that's my first leaf. I'm gonna do another leaf over here, smaller. And I'm gonna do exactly the same thing. I'm gonna draw a line on the center. Move to the bottom. I'm gonna do another leaf on this area. Coming all the way to the end of the nail. The cool thing about this technique is you can choose any design you want to. And since it's black and white, it's gonna look awesome. Keep drawing some lines over here to form or to shape some leaves. Now I have an empty space over here, and I'm gonna do the same thing but coming from here all the way to the corner of the nail. There we go. And now I have majorly everything completely done. Let's start shading. I'm gonna start shading over here on each one of the petals, just with a little bit of color. One line on the center, and then just small tiny lines on each side. One on the center. Just to bring that shade area and emphasize it even more. One more over here. Now we see that we're starting to see our flower looking gorgeous. Full splendor. There we go. Now the leaf, in each one of the leaves, I'm gonna start doing very thin lines, but again, I'm gonna look at my brush. If it's too much paint, I'm gonna clean again. Point, be sure that all the time you have that sharp point. And a tiny bit of the black, and I'm gonna start doing some very nice and thin lines in each side of the leaf. Very thin line, they don't have to be perfect, just, and as you go, smaller. Because when you complete the design, everything is gonna look beautiful together. Again, now, on this side, I'm gonna go to the opposite, making lines very thin. And you're gonna complete each pattern the same way. Some of the line will be a little bit bolder, some probably a little bit thinner. But like I told you, at the end result is going to be really beautiful. We finished the first one. I want to be sure that the center line is even deeper, so I come over here and I put a little bit more of paint at the center. Now, if this line was coming this way, so I'm gonna go to the opposite for this leaf. So we can see that there is two complete different leaves, okay? If you put it the same, going the same way, the same pattern, you're not gonna see the difference and it's not gonna look so beautiful. Down again. Now, let's go to the bottom. We're gonna do exactly the same thing. One line on the center. Clean your brush. Point. Just a tiny bit. And from the same color that you have on the center, pull it all the way to the end. Just a tiny bit of color. If your brush is losing some of the pigment, you're gonna take just a tiny, because remember the center have plenty color. On the other side, we're gonna do the opposite. And this leaf is finished. Now, this one, now, following the pattern, just like on the top, we're gonna go to the opposite. See, now everything is taking shape already. It's looking beautiful. Opposite. Perfect. My last leaf, which is this one over here. Let me see if I can focus it. Put it in a position that you can see me. So you can see the lines that I'm drawing over here. The opposite side. And I finished. So now I'm gonna take my brush. Let me clean it again first so I can start again with my point. And take a little bit more, as you see in the brush, of the paint. And I'm gonna place it on the side, put it flat and pull softly. A second one, these are long tiers. I'm gonna do exactly the same thing. I'm gonna place it and then pull it. Last one, place it and pull it. On the top, close to the cuticle area, I want to pull it. I'm gonna take my dotting tool on the shorter or a smaller size, and I'm gonna put some dots. And this is a great thing of the gel art paint. The gel art paint, when you do dots, they don't move, they don't spread, and they become perfect. I'm gonna put a couple of dots on this area, okay? I'm gonna put one dot over here, and I'm gonna come with a smaller on that side. One last one. And I'm gonna put a couple of, maybe one teardrop on this side of the leaf. Start again, point. And I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna place it and I'm gonna pull. It's gonna be a very thin one. Place it and pull. And my design is completed. Check it out before you put it to cure. Once you put it to cure, it's gonna be, remember, UV 2 minutes, LED 1 minute. Okay, so it's completely cured. So now I'm gonna put that touch of color on the desired place, and I choose this petal over here, but you can choose any area of the design. I'm going to use Mesmerize, which is a deep orange, and I'm gonna put it on that petal. Now you can use any color you want for that one touch of color. I just happen to like this color because it is really actually spring. It reminds me those gorgeous deep colors of the flowers in spring. And this is it. I'm going to cure, and once I cure it, the design would be finished. Okay, this is already drying. And what I'm gonna do is, you have two options at the end of the design. You can leave it like this with the shine on the leaves because it's already cured. This is the great thing of the gel art paints. They're not sticky once it's cured. And only apply the into the mat to the leaf, to the petal, or you can mat it all. And that is exactly what I choose to do. I'm going to mat the whole nail except the origami part. Once you apply, whatever is your decision, you're gonna cure. Remember, UV, 2 minutes. LED, 1 minute. Okay, so the design is already done. The last step would be to clean the whole nail with your wipe it or your towelette and then clean it, which I already did. And this is the end result of the origami and one touch nail design. How fun was that? I'm sure that if you take this technique and apply, whether it's all in one design or different designs, your clients will love it. Until next time, have fun.